Hello and welcome to the final round of the Apex Racing League GT3 Trophy Series. I am joined with none other than Jamie Fluke. We are here for Mosport. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, doing really good. Excited to sort of be back behind the microphone for the first time in quite a while, and we've got a really interesting race up ahead. The final round of the championship. It's been a long, arduous championship. A lot has happened. But it's been really exciting stuff, and yeah, can't wait to get stuck into it.
Yes, indeed. Obviously, Mosport going to be a technical track for quite a lot of cars, 3 classes. Obviously, with some position decided, but everyone's fighting for a position, right? It's been a long season. You want to finish strong as well.
Yeah, you want to finish strong. At the top end of, I think, each of the drivers' championships, it's sort of clear that we probably have a winner there, unless pigs begin to fly or something like that. But yeah, it's been a really interesting season, and then sort of a little bit of a mystery as well of the last 2 rounds where they weren't previously initially announced, so the guys just didn't really fully know what they were getting themselves into for the end of the season, what to prepare for. So yeah, it's been really interesting, and
Yeah, for sure. It's been a long season. Let's remind ourselves of the calendar. Some brilliant rounds. I mean, 10 rounds. I mean, this has been a long series. Where I've seen other series come and go where I've been commentating, and this one stuck around, and it's been good. You think it's a good choice, Mosport, to finish the season at?
It's a rogue show, but I do like it. Yes. I like the track fundamentally as is. If we could get some rain, that would make it super spicy. Super spicy, because it's such a commitment track where if you get it slightly wrong in terms of your line, you're in deep trouble. You're off, and you spend a long time crashing here as well. It's not like there's a wall immediately to hit. No, like once you get offline, there's a lot of grass to negotiate, maybe a bit of gravel before you hit what you're going to hit. And you will hit it because it's all high speed.
I suppose, thank God, grass is a little grippier than it used to be, because this track was, up there as one of the most dangerous if you get off. Let's remind ourselves of the format. We're going with Format A for this week, so each class gets about 10 minutes of qualifying. Obviously, the last class gets 12 because they don't get to finish their laps like the previous classes. 60-minute race. You think fuel saving is going to be huge here, or is it more just race management?
I think it will be pretty important. It's quite easy to see it around here, the draft around the track, where it's all quite high-speed stuff. If you can stay tucked up behind the car ahead, you definitely can make moves in the pit stop for sure. So we'll see how everyone plays everything. It'll be really interesting as well to see setup-wise what everyone goes with, because you can go like really high downforce around here and maximize the high-speed cornering and then be a sitting duck on the dreaded straight, or you can trim the thing out and just be a mobile chicane until you get onto the back straight and then just take off. So. And that as well plays into the fuel strategy and everything. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, trimming it out really helps on fuel as well at a track like this.
Massively. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see, car to car, team to team, driver to driver, how they've approached this round. And we usually get some side-by-side action in the last sector.
Yeah, it can be technically very close, though. That's the problem. It's that risk-reward, because as well, it's the way they pair up. The last corner's on the right, the entry's on the left, so it's very difficult to keep it round the outside and then somehow make that right-hander and not career into them. And
exactly.
Even the pit stop entry here could be quite a dangerous line to get into.
I mean, side-by-side then pit entry.
Exactly.
Shocking.
Okay, let's remind ourselves of the championship standings. We got the pro class, as Jamie's mentioned, Anders Meyer has got this in the bag. It's been a great fight from Chris Van Den Esse. Lucas Talman's had his weeks, really strong weeks. David Schillen, Danny Neo. I mean, Danny Neo had an excellent week last week. Yeah, I mean, it's a great bunch, but obviously that's been decided. But I think it's still, I know it's, we're not talking Max Verstappen here. This has been a really well-fought championship. And, at one point we really wasn't sure how this is going. But Meyer, it's not just, I don't think he's judged on how well he does. It's how he never does bad.
Yeah, exactly. He's been super solid all season. He's probably been the most solid across the board. Can't really fault him at any point really this season.
That's what I thought.
And he's driving the Ford as well, which probably has shaken out to not be the strongest car either across the board. So to get the results that he's done has been super stuff. He still needs to just finish the job here today, but given how the season has went so far, we're likely to see him clinch the title here this evening.
Yeah, it's going to be well earned. And the Pro-Am Championship, which has been, again, I think super exciting. I had my money sort of on Agard early on, seeing how strong of a driver he was, but Abayo has proved to be quite the animal, especially in qualifying, because that's where Pro-Am and Am can have that big differential where you, in this series, where if you can out-qualify your nearest competitor by 3 positions, that's a very advantageous opportunity, and Abayo has been absolute beast in qualifying.
He has, and did a super job, obviously, in Monza last time out with the changeable weather conditions.
Yeah,
so
that was
full advantage of that to pick up the race win in race 1, and then working with his teammate in the pro class, Danny Neo, in race 2 to work his way forward. And,
epic,
super stuff. So again, that's another one where, I mean, it was in the mix earlier in the season, but Abayo's been able to sort of stretch his legs a little bit coming to the closing stretches here.
Yep, and the AM Championship, I think you said this is you think it's been the closest battle all season long. Obviously, UDOD is a step above the rest, I feel, like he doesn't, I mean, you can see it in his driving. He's a very strong driver, but I think the AM battle, like you mentioned, has been very close, very difficult this season. Yeah,
I mean, I was going to say, they're 2nd through 5th are separated by, what's that, 18 points? No, more than that.
Yeah, 30. I can't.
Yeah.
Not a lot is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, not a lot of points. 37 points. So it's tight going. UDOD, secretly, he was my pick at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Because I seen that he was paired with Danny Neo and Sergio Abayo. So stronger drivers or drivers in a higher class, at least for him to work with and work off of. And it's, personally good to see a Mercedes up there as well in class. So again, it's looking good for him. Again, though, he just needs to keep it clean for this last round.
100%. And last but not least, let's check out the Teams Championship. This is scored by, Sam, I know, is it your top 3 drivers from each overall from the final race results, not per class? Racing Lab Esports, obviously, a bunch of strong drivers. Delatraz had a great season. Maguire's team had some ups and downs, but obviously Chris Vendanessi's been super strong in some rounds. Walk, they had some epic rounds. I don't, what was it, Quali 1-2 1 week? Or was it Monza?
Yeah,
of course, that's them, yeah.
So, like, each team has sort of had, like, their standout moments, but again, it comes back to the Racing Lab Esports guys, where they've just been more solid across the board from start to finish. And again, like, the points are looking really, really good for them. It's unlikely to switch the opposite way, but you never know. Like, Delatraz could pop up with an absolute monster round, and the Racing Lab guys could have their one stinker, really, and it does throw it open again. So
yes, indeed,
a lot still to play for, but across all 4 of our championships, it's very much one hand on the trophy for the leading team and/or driver.
Yeah, well said. All right, let's take a look at the track. I personally love this track. I love you stole my words, the committal nature of it, because you have to throw your car, regardless of car, especially in GT3s. You've got to trust that track out will not be 2 tyres on the grass, or dreadfully 1 tyre, even worse.
Just emphasis there on turn 2. That for me is like the biggest commitment corner of the lot, because you're coming up over the crest and a big downhill drop. If you've just not set the car up right, you're either plowing straight on or you're snapping. And if you have to catch it enough, then you're offline and you're off anyway. Especially when it gets deep into a race, the marbles have built up. If you get offline far enough, then
you've only got to show your nose there as well.
Exactly.
And the guy on the outside, it's very difficult for them to judge like you say, you have to set everything up right just to make the corner in the first place, let alone side by side. What's the dreaded corner? The
Moss corner.
Moss corner, yeah. We all know this corner. It's one of the ones we have to go through and learn. How much can I carry? Because tracking out to that outside far apex right against the stones is great when you get it right, but it takes some learning.
It does take some learning. What's always worked well for me in the past around here and that particular corner is actually not throwing it in that deep, making sure that I'm really gentle with my inputs as I come up over the crest, because again, if you have a small wobble, you're done for. So as long as the car stays solid, then it's fine. You've got the run then onto the back straight. It's all gravy.
Yes, indeed. All right, we're cut to an advert, and when we be back, we will be into the throes of qualifying. So yeah, see you in just a moment.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Welcome back. We are trackside at Mosport while our AM qualifying is happening. Nice cool track temp. When was the last time you actually raced here, Jamie? I'm trying to think, because obviously on the competitive esports side, this isn't a popular track for you guys.
Not a super popular track, no. We did race here in the first season of PESC.
Wow.
So like we had a rogue, very interesting calendar that year. So that's 2019. I think that's the last like truly competitive race that I've done here. But I've done a lot of laps since. I know my way around the track. It's yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, well, I actually do remember that race. I was leading at one point, and then it all kind of went a bit Pete-tong from there.
Pete-tong.
So I sort of know what it's like to be stuck in the middle of the pack here as well, but also know what it's like to be out in clean air. And trust me, clean air is glorious around here.
And obviously, we try and follow the official schedules, and this week it is IMSA.
It is indeed.
What do you think? Obviously, in real life, they run IMSA here, but only in GTs.
Yeah.
That's
RW has sort of shown what happens if you do slightly overcommit there into Moss corner.
Yeah.
So that's lap done. I think he'll get another crack, but that would be it then. He's got one more shot to try and get further up the order. Fourth for him in is probably not where he expected to be, and I would say that this is a reasonable track for the Mercedes as well. But I think you've been doing the IMSA races this week, have you?
No,
Oh,
I've been moving house.
Oh, that's right, yeah, you've been moving house.
Busy.
I see you do IMSA so often. It's like, oh yeah, he's probably done it. It's like, oh yeah, no, he's been moving house, of course.
It was a good assumption. Usually I'd be like, yes, of course, yeah.
But on the subject of multi-class racing around here, which is pertinent because, yes, IMSA is here this week. Scary stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So scary.
Rusfad getting it wrong as well. But currently pole sitter, that will be... He will have time... No, yeah.
He'll have time.
He'll just have time, yeah.
So, just in case anybody's new in here, it's 10 minutes for each class in qualifying, but you are allowed to finish the lap that you start within that time. So as long as he crosses the line before the 10-minute mark, he will be able to complete that lap.
And that's why we give the pros, quote-unquote, 12 minutes.
Yes.
Which slightly benefits them at a track that's short like this. But
yes,
it's as even as it gets.
It is indeed. So Rosfarder on to start his final flying lap into turn one, sort of braking and flick the car in. Bit of inside curb there. I don't like the inside curb there because he can push the car wide, but he's used everything on the way out, so looking good. Up over the crest into the blind, turn two. Beautiful apex there. Just don't want to run it too far wide, but yeah, again, looks good. Hard over to the inside.
Tricky corner this.
Yeah,
very tricky.
It's off camber in the middle, so you feel like you've got the car turned in and then it just washes away from you, and then the exit's tight as well.
In LMDH, getting that corner right is, I feel it's 50% skill and 50% lucky wheel.
Down into Moss corner, hard onto the brakes. You can absolutely mash the brakes, but then bleeding off up over the crest. Yeah, that looks much better this time. A little bit of inside curb there.
I don't really like the inside curb with GT3s because all you really get, I find, is just a random ensemble of what's going to happen on exit for you and traction levels.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably car specific as well. So the cars that can sort of mush the curbs quite nicely, absorb them well, you can definitely use it. And I know for like the TCRs as well, they're pretty capable.
And this combination of corners, when you jump class, like I do, it's very difficult to know what and where to sacrifice.
Exactly.
Depending on your downforce levels.
Yeah, so in a GT3, it's obviously less nimble than your prototypes, so you've got to kind of sacrifice the whole way. But over the line for Ross Fowler, it looked at tidy lap, and it was easy.
Just pipped Livingstone, who had just pipped him. So
exactly. 1:15.9, so that's the time. But it did look like a reasonably solid lap there. So, yeah, good stuff there from Ross Fowler. He is pole in the category ahead of Livingston, Zielke, Udod, Schlosser, Hedgecock, Wild, and Danielson. So on to the Pro-Am class.
Yeah, and Udod's a step back here. I mean, it was still quite close, but we expect him at the bleeding edge. But 1.7 tenths, we will forgive him. But yes, rightly so, Pro-Ams have hit the grid.
This is a track, though, where the gaps across the field are usually really small.
Correct, yeah. There's not many corners, right? And
there's not many corners, and they're all like quite high speed corners. There's not too many heavy braking zones, which is where I think most time comes and goes between drivers. And I do remember, again, sort of harking back to the last competitive race that I did here in Pesk, the top 8 was separated by 0.04 of a second.
Wow.
Which was because Rogers didn't have to, or had a quality ban, had to stop back.
That's the only reason. Yeah.
Otherwise, it might have been 1/4 of a second separating the top 8. But yeah, I do remember that quite well. So, on board with Tim Perry. Not quite on board with him, but focusing in on him anyway. In the Audi there.
It's not a bad choice for this track, I'd think. If I was to quickly pick a car,
yeah,
I think I'd go Audi or Lambo, regardless of BOP, just because of the agility you need here.
Yep.
It's
really good in the last sector here.
Yeah.
And again, it sort of changes from season to season, and I've been out of the GT3s a little while now. But this track, or this car, was always a challenge around here. It was quick, but like knife edge.
Right, yeah.
Whereas like a BMW or a Mercedes or even a modern day, we've got the Ford as well. Solid front engine car. It should technically be a strength for them. Sergio Bio,
yeah,
preliminary.
Only it's very close though to the AMS, so
yes.
Decent time there by Farah at the moment. Obviously, they've got a few more attempts. It's a bit of a confidence build at this track as well. I'd hate one-shot quality at this track.
Very true. And also, bear in mind that these guys have had to sit for at least 10 minutes and just wait. They've not been able to sort of stay in the rhythm, and this is very much a rhythm track.
I had this. I've never had this. What you just described, I've never had that until pre-Q I did last week. Half an hour. Like, I was just sat there.
It's brutal, isn't it?
So I ended up just sitting there watching my own replays, holding the wheel, trying to live through my own lines again, just to find that rhythm. But yeah, it's never came up before.
Yeah, it's so interesting, especially for the pro guys who obviously have to sit 20 minutes before they get to go out and go. If I was them, I'd probably like go off and do something completely different. I'd probably not watch it unless you're cloud spotting and hoping that the rain doesn't arrive, like it's happened a couple of times this season.
Yeah. I don't think we're due any rain this round. Tim Perry with a very now the fast laps are coming in. Yeah.
So it's looking like it takes a couple of laps to get the tires up and going around here, which kind of makes
short
sense.
outlap makes sense, right?
Short outlap, and it's bear in mind as well, a lot of high-speed corners, so you want the pressure in the tire, you want a bit of heat in the tire. It's not like a Monza or I'm trying to think about it. Maybe like an Okayama or something like that, where it's all like low-speed stuff.
Gotcha.
And chicanes and traction zones where you maybe want a colder tire with less pressure. Here, yeah, you do want to take a couple of laps and build it all up.
Yeah, fairly looking strong. Was strong at Monza as well. Had a very solid round end-to-end, which is great. It looks like he's been stepping it up week on week, to be honest. A name that I've seen getting higher and higher on the standings.
Yeah, fairly good stuff.
Yeah, we've used that. Quite fairly viewed dice.
Yeah, Sam didn't notice from last week.
No.
Disappointed. It's so off-brand for him as well. Normally he picks up on that stuff immediately. Matteo Carbonari, who is... he's had a really interesting season, sort of up and down and all over the place. as he's got caught up in incident. Oh my goodness.
Well, you wanted to know trim levels. That Porsche did not look very high downforce there, unless he got the entry wrong and just lent on the rears a bit.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, it's been an up and down season for him. Let me just grab the...
While you're doing that, hello to everyone in chat. Matty, Benedict, and Fairley, who were just talking about Thomas and everyone. Hello, hope everyone's doing well. We are about 5 minutes into the Pro-Am qualifying, so still a couple more laps to go, especially with how short lap it is here. This Walk Racing Esports livery has grown on me.
I like it.
Yeah, it's something different and it works, so yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, huge fan of it. Black Beast.
They've been a solid team.
They
like,
have.
Really solid.
They've been solid, but also they have got caught up in incidents sort of throughout the season.
Yeah.
So, like, usually one of them out of the three has had a good round, but in terms of teams championship stuff, the consistency does, shine through, which is why they're not fighting for team championship glory. And bearing in mind as well that they have a Pro-Am, and an Am, whereas some of the other teams
has double pros.
Have double pros, so it's a bit of a challenge for them that way. Bio back up to the top, dead level.
Dead level. Yeah.
With Andrew Fairley, so can't really complain too much about BOP on thinking this one.
I was going to say we've seen a little nerf to the McLaren recently, but I don't know if you've driven the Mercedes recently, but since the new season, I think it drives so much better. A lot more consistent, better out slow speed corners. It feels less truck-esque.
Less truck-esque. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
So I drove it last season for a few little bits, but not yet this season. And truth be told, I was not having a great time with it. Maybe that's just my general disdain for driving GT3 at the minute. Love watching it, love seeing the action, but the actual driving of the car at the minute hasn't been my favorite thing in the world.
I always say the Mercedes has a high skill to reward ratio. Like if you're very skilled, of course you can be at the absolute bleeding edge, maybe even have an advantage with its top speed and tyres and everything. But I just find that curve too steep for your average driver. You may as well just have quickly learnt the Lamborghini or the BMW and drive something a lot more easier to extract the pace from.
Even the Porsche I find much more palatable than the Mercedes, which for me doesn't make a ton of sense. I would have thought that the Porsche would be very, very snappy, very on the edge, and like obviously you can set it up that way, but just as a hop in and go, like what have we got to work with here? I've found from coming back into iRacing that the Mercedes is very sensitive. It's very sensitive in terms of setup as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just use your guys' sets.
Yeah. But it's not easy getting it right because it's so sensitive in terms of like rear ride height and stuff like that. So if you just get the balance slightly wrong, the car will punish you heavily. Whereas I even feel like for the cars that traditionally are a little bit more on edge, there's a slightly wider tolerance for them.
Yeah. Hutchinson move a lap, very close, 47 hundredths off pole. I mean, the top 4, 72 hundredths off each other. That's really close. Obviously, the top two separated by absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So funny story actually related to this league and you.
Oh.
Going back when I wasn't commentating, but actually taking part.
Yes.
I was running Apex sets, but obviously back when the league wasn't running, say, a race where the official wasn't at, it was you, I'd be DMing in Discord asking you, which set would you base, I don't know, Suzuka off? And then you would tell me and be like, okay, should I take wing bias? And then you would help me and help me and help me. And I would rock up with this Jamie Discord edited setup, and that was it. Happy days.
Was it happy days?
The set was good. It was the driver that was usually the problem.
Tremendous answer. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
The check is in the post.
Can fairly break this. He's got the lapping in time, so this is his last chance.
Yeah, this is the one that we want to look at.
Yeah, because Bio's in the pits.
Bio's in the pits, and Fairley and him have traded lap times throughout this 10-minute session.
Obviously, someone else still can pip it, but yeah, I say as it happens.
Tim Perry to the top of the timesheet, 115.4. Very good stuff. And yeah, so that's 4 different manufacturers in the top 4, separated by about a tenth or so of a second. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I think I mean, I always give them stick for the bop, and I always will. But credit where credit's due. It's
It's in a reasonable
pretty.
place now.
It's in a reasonable place, yeah. And I do find the dream is almost coming true. Where I like this idea. In my head, I dream of the bot being close, but each car having their unique way of getting the lap time out. Like,
Yeah.
I like that.
Like you do in GT4.
Correct.
Just poured it over. Great stuff. All right, final sector here for Andrew Fairley.
Oh, double.
Yeah, I like that. Just bang it down through the gears. Down one more. Yes. And then flick it right.
Keep it
hold
third,
hold it, yeah.
Yeah.
Crunch the throttle. Use a little bit of grass in the way out. Yes. Right, to the line. Is it an improvement?
No. Oh,
yes.
yes.
It is.
And a big one.
1:15.400. You'll
Yeah,
love to see it.
let's see that
Great
holds
lap.
up against the pros who are making their way to the
Robin
track.
Buss, though, just finishing off a lap. Will he improve? Just waiting. No. Ever so slightly slower than his previous best.
Okay, in this gap between the pro-ams and pros, we're going to take a quick moment break. We're going to just resolve an audio issue, but we'll be right back. And welcome back. We are in the throes of pro qualifying, and as you can see, David Schilling with a 15-1. We're talking a 4. I did do the math. Yeah, 3/10 gap to the pro-am times. You like this teamwork? Look at this. One running 1, 2, 3, giving each other a draft, taking turns.
Teamwork makes the dream work, but it's easy to overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
And try and almost, like, if you try and make it like a cycling peloton, frequently it, as the lead car, you feel so much pressure not to stuff up your teammates' lap.
True. And so a good question, because you're a pro, but tracks like here in Road Atlanta where the ratio of dirty air to draft, I mean, where do you see the balance? Like, because obviously in the last sector there, do you want that dirty air in front of you?
Well, Alexis Vale stuck it on pole by a 10th now, so I guess it is worth it.
There you go.
But it is a valid point. It's something that you need to practice and to test. And make sure that you're happy and comfortable with it. Also, sort of knowledge of what the track's likely to do. So, like, when do you want to be out front leading, or when do you want to be in slipstream?
Gotcha, yeah.
Can play a role. I remember a time when I was doing team championship for Apex. It was I think it was the VCO Sprint Masters or something like that, and it was open qualifying, and you could pull your teammate around. And it came around to Monza, which is a track that you definitely do want to have slipstream and draft.
Yep.
Oh, close one there for.
Yeah, I think he dropped one tyre.
I love the helmet. As
yeah,
well,
yeah.
Must be said. The lid is fantastic, just there in the mirror. But this was back when it took very little time for the track to rubber up and slow down. So instead of like trying to find the right person to sit behind and draft, I bolted and took Kev behind me. It's like, right, we're going to the front, and I'm just going to put down an absolute heater of a lap, and you're going to follow me and put it on pole. And that's what happened straight away. So he followed me, put it by myself with no draft. I think I was 3rd or 4th or something like that.
Right.
Just get out there and get it done, and don't think too hard about it. So it's easy to overcomplicate it and
sure
struggle that way, but if you can do the teamwork side of things correctly, it definitely is worth time, as we've seen there. Alexis Vale, top of the timesheet by a margin.
Yeah.
Okay, a 10th doesn't sound like much, but around here, and bearing in mind the skill level of these pro drivers as well, a 10th is not to be sniffed at.
Correct, yeah. So one thing I had to practice on that qualifying chat is open qualifying. I know it might sound stupid, but I never realised like how quote-unquote distracting I found it to not... Look, I don't know how to explain it, but obviously I'm better than I used to be, obviously a lot better. But for a long time, many years, every time I'd rock up to an open qualifying, I'd be a step off what I could have done if I could just have focused on my own.
Yeah.
Is that something you had to bridge, or are you able to just turn on a switch?
I feel like you need to learn how to turn on the switch and figure out what you need to do with it. So what I see a lot of people doing is, like, even if they're in an open practice session, they'll find their own little run group and trying to just find their own piece of track. Don't be afraid to get out there in an open practice session with all the cars kind of floating about doing their own thing, and just focus on hitting a lap, regardless of what's going on around you. As Chris Van Den Isse is bailing out of it. Is he going to have enough time to get round and do one lap? I suspect
yeah.
He was. Sorry, yeah. He's going to have time for another run here. Eric Troche to the line here. He's behind a couple of the Pro-Am drivers, 4/10 off the pace there in the Mercedes. And top Mercedes is Danny Neo there in P7. So maybe it's not a strong track for the Mercedes, but time will tell. Michael Hooper there up to P12. Still towards the back end, though, of the Pro class, 4.5 off the pace. Doesn't have slipstream to help him out there, so doing it all by himself, but a little bit of work to be done, and eyes now towards champion-elect, basically, Anders Meyer.
Yeah, we're expecting a big thing from here. Obviously, I wouldn't want the Ford at this track, especially in that last sector. I just feel like it's just not the car, but I haven't done a lap, so I really won't know, but I know the car and I know the track. I just feel, yeah, like the last sector is just pure sacrifice. You don't have the front.
Well, without a slipstream there, P4, so he's in the mix. Yeah, and that's all he needs from this evening, is being in the mix. So fantastic esports pose again from
yeah.
That's as strong of an esports pose as I think we've seen all season.
It has that lean forward as well,
like lean forward, the sort of hunch sideways. I love it. Back with Michael Hooper then. Hopefully
looking to improve. But in P12, stuck behind 2 Pro-Ams at the moment as he runs to the line. He will get another go. Yes, he will. Yeah, 32. So he's got plenty of time.
No improvement, 10.5 off from his previous best efforts. David Schilling there, 2nd place.
Yeah, looking very strong. Very good lap time.
Yeah, 1:15.10 is his best. Last lap of 1:15.9. So that suggests to me like a cool-off lap. And that can work really well around here, where you want the pressure in the tire, so you can utilize it for all the high-speed corners, but you want to just cool the surface temp off a little bit so that you can, rag it once again. So like a cool push, cool, or push, cool push, whatever way you want to word it. I reckon is a pretty good strat around here. So is he on a full push, or is he going to go again?
I did a charity race here once in GT3, fixed set, but the qualifying set had a mistake. It was low downforce endurance. So we were practicing in max downforce sprint fuel.
Yes.
Qualifying came round. This was like a 48C track. Low downforce, like minimum wing, endurance fuel. It was no. We had limited time, and everyone was just spinning on outlaps, coming on the radio, and they were like, "Yeah, let's, this is it. Let's just run with it."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not ideal. Not ideal.
It was really tricky.
Eric Roseth up into second position.
Yeah, very close. 7400s off there. Pippin David Schilling. See what Anders Meyer can do. If he's got time, I'm not sure who's on a lap, but as we follow Schilling here, who has the pole opportunity.
Yeah, Schilling's probably going to be the last man to get a solid lap in. Alexis Villa has parked it, so 1:15.005 is going to be the time probably to beat here as we get close to the line. There's tight for time, but he is going to get the lap done.
Just in time.
Yeah, just in time.
And is being last the best strat?
Oh, not quite.
No.
He just missed out.
Eric Roseth to the line.
He's a disappointment on his face. He thought he was going to get it, and he must have been on a great lap as well for him to respond that way.
Yeah, I don't think he was disappointed he didn't get to finish. I think he's disappointed he didn't get to pole.
Yeah.
I liked he disappeared on the as the mud kicked up. That looked brilliant.
It was a great shot.
All right. As a result, so as you mentioned, Alexis Veal with the pole lap there, very impressive. Eric Roseth P2, David Schilling P3, very strong there. Chris van der Nesse, usually a very strong qualifier. Maybe the Porsche wasn't it today. Abuzzo, very good lap there, representing Delatraz. Anders Meyer in P6, maybe a pinch disappointed, but the Ford didn't look to be the car. Lucas Talman, we didn't see much airtime, but not his strongest qualifying, but we know how aggressive and fast he can be in the race.
Absolutely.
Danny Neo, there for the Walk Esports Merc team, P8. Andrew Fairley, we saw very strong in Pro-Am, taking the pole there for the class. Tim Perry, very close battle there, not quite it. Eric Trush, P11. Michael Hooper, P12. Sergio Baio, very strong again. I'm sure he's going to have a good race. Followed up by Mark Hutchinson. Ryan Walker in P15. Robin Wist. David Muller. Daniel Ash. Reese. Russ Fowler, pro in the AMS. Simon Livingston, Racing Lab Esports, close there, P2. Hendrick. Artem Udod, not his best qualifying. And Matteo, who you said's had an up and down season. Again,
it's probably more down than it is up.
Yeah, unfortunately. Because we know he's a strong driver.
Yeah,
Mario, Adam Hedgecock, Patrick Weld, and Sander Danielson.
So that's our 28 car grid, which I think is about the right sort of size for around here. I know that we've had bigger fields.
No, 55.
You want 55 cars?
Yeah, always.
Carnage around here.
55, or we delete the track. That's it. If you can't handle it, get rid of the track. That's how I look at it. And I think this track can.
Barely.
All right, quick call. It's an hour race. We see the pace differential. Are we going to see quote unquote traffic?
Yes, I think we will. Question is, will we see it before pit stops? I don't think so.
Yep.
Traffic like in pit cycles is always like a massive sort of ability sort of to mix things up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're not going to worry too much about that. It might be something that pops up sort of in the last 10, 15 minutes of the race.
It's going to be tricky, right?
Very tricky, yes.
Because the lead pack are probably going to run as a pack, fuel save, not go for silly moves, and we're going to see them get long into the stint, but it's going to get hairy once they get through traffic. Even letting someone by, unless it's on the big straight, very difficult.
Yeah. Or it could be what we seen in F1 last week, where lead car just guns it and everyone has to try and hang on.
Yep. Okay, Alexis Field is going to take us to the green. Very difficult few corners here. Hopefully everyone gets through safe and tucks in single file, but we are seeing some 3 wides at the back there. Right, the first 3 are through okay. Some side-by-side action, though. If you can hold the outside, you get a great opportunity here in 2 because, oosh,
Danny Neal just running a little wide there, I think.
I wouldn't want to go around the outside here. On Colt, there was definite contact.
No.
Yeah.
That's Chris van der Nisse as well. Oh, and a bit of a pile-up as well further back. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they're trying to get through safe. Okay. Yeah, I did. As the camera panned, I saw... It just looked like someone checked up early because I was going to mention T2 is not a corner for full send on cold tyres.
It isn't. And I think that's what happened to Chris van der Nisse there. Down to the back. And that's not built a huge gap as well between second and third. So it's a top 2 breakaway for now. We'll see how this progresses. But back up the front, Alexis Field sort of almost struggling a little bit on the cold tires. Eric Rosell.
Look at that Ford power, though. You said back trim
Big
levels.
pull up the hill. Let's see who's got the straight line speed. Side by side in towards the final sector, coming to the end of the Andretti straight here.
If you can make left work, which is going to be very difficult on cold tyres to have any grip level to keep it all the way for that last corner. So Eric's wires and just tucked in. You need I assume you're going to be asking quite a lot of your tyres in an hour race here.
Absolutely.
Very short.
I suspect drivers as well will be taking some tyres in this race.
Yeah, at least
Pierre Butsu into the pits.
We assume damage.
Or maybe he jumped the start and ended up somewhere where he shouldn't have.
Oh,
Not
BMW
sure.
with a very... I was going to... You don't... Do you want to be on that side? For all that send, it's very easy to defend this. I find someone on the outside here. Oh, no, he's
Never
very
mind
committed.
Why around the outside from Ross Fowler on Sandro Danielson. Lovely move.
Very nice.
Bear in mind, that is pole setter in AM and down towards the back of the field. So obviously he got caught up in the early going. It's Hendrik Zielke leading in after lap 1 here.
And very importantly, Anders Meyer is up 3, but why that's important is because he finds himself right behind his teammate. And as you said, teamwork makes the dream work. So they maybe can work together here and control the race a little bit. But Lucas Talman also up 3, Danny Neer up 3. So the people we lost at the very beginning, we will get a replay, was... Oh, we've lost a few.
We've lost a lot, actually.
Yeah, because I think we lost initially 2, 1 got caught, and then unfortunately the ramifications further back collected another 2. It happens, yeah. T2, some people were full committed and some people wanted to just check up early and get through, and thou shall meet. And yeah, the Porsche, when you were talking about the cars, I love the Porsche. It's my favourite GT3, but only on max downforce. Once you start taking wing out, everything you love about it's gone, so I'm not interested. Like, it hasn't got that amazing brakes and amazing cornering. What's the point of the car? As soon as I trim out the wing, I move on.
Yeah, exactly. Something probably to bear in mind as well. So the front 2 had broken away right at the very start. Anders Meyer is sort of back in the mix here, pulling Lucas Talman along with them. So that initial breakaway where we thought maybe that's going to fester into something. Alexis Field looked very uncomfortable actually in those opening couple of laps. So despite breaking away, it has sort of returned sort of line astern with a bit of a train.
Well, you could think he's bringing his teammate into it, but he would have known that's also bringing Anders Meyer, a teammate of Rousseff, into it. So are you bringing your teammate or are you bringing another enemy? Like, it's hard. But yeah, to be honest, we know Rousseff and Meyer's fuel saving. So, I mean, Alexis Field's going to be nervous. Not nervous, calculating that as well, factoring it in, because, yeah, these Ford boys, they do like to save fuel.
Certainly do. Tim Perry up to the front in Pro-Am, obviously able to find his way through the mess there in turn 2 very nicely. 6th overall. He has fallen away off the back of the leading quintet, but super start from Tim, and yeah, got ahead of Sergio Baio as well. Yeah, super stuff.
Sergio Baio's gonna fix that. Nope.
Have a crack here at Huber. Not many overtakes happening to the inside of Moss, but this is one of them. Nice and tight up the inside. Plenty of space as well given on the outside. Full credit to him, but nice clean overtake up into P7. Still second in Pro-Am, but now he's got a sight set on Tim Perry up ahead.
Yes, indeed. I'm just looking. We said Matteo Carbonari is having ups and downs. Well, right now, up 11. This is an up. Or just didn't get it right in qualifying.
The man is a human roller coaster, up and down.
Fairly having a look around, trying to go around the outside.
And this is why it's so difficult to defend into here if the car behind has a run.
That's the hardest part. What you can do there, what the Porsche did, just come off the brakes and cruise it in. You sacrifice your exit as the Ford may pass them both here. But
Looks like it, yeah.
fairly wants this though.
Up to P8, yeah.
He hasn't given up yet.
The outside of turn 2 is not it though. Schubert threw the car a little wider to make sure it didn't happen, and Fairley did have to finally back out of it. That's put him into the clutches of David Schilling, who, that's wide, that's really wide. And he's going to lose the spot now actually to Ryan Walker. So, bit of chaos, but we've got some replays coming up of the start, so let's see what happened.
Yeah, let's have a look. I did see just a slight door bang. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, that's a huge early spin. So I'm pretty sure that must have been a little touch.
So,
oh yeah, there's a little nudge there.
so is that just Van der Nesse, like I mentioned, checking up early, taking its, well, his line's a little,
He's
a little
going straight
safe
when he should be
Yeah.
going left.
ooh.
Oh, then further back.
So this wasn't a knock-on effect. This was a fresh accident.
Yeah, this was all on their own. No real.
Yeah, very
involvement
strange.
of
I
it,
think
yeah.
he just dropped it and collected it, and the problem is the only way to save it is to slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah,
It's a
very strange
huge
one.
check up. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some sort of bump there. And this is
Yeah,
Eric
Trosh.
Trosh.
Oh, okay, so yeah, the Audi ahead. I think that's Muller. But
Trosh was
had
in
a bit of a wobble there on
Yeah.
the brakes on the way in, cut across, and yeah, nothing that Eric Trosh there I think could have done based off of what I've just seen there. So yeah, all action, all activity in turn 2 and turn 3 on the opening lap. Everything outside of that, though, has been pretty respectful and pretty clean.
Yeah, seeing David Schilling down 8 positions, obviously caught up in some of that. Sad to see after a very strong qualifying.
Ross Fowler sort of on the comeback trail here, so he fell obviously right to the back, picked off another position there. That's Adam Hedgecock that he's overtaken.
He's actually net up 1 now, which is great to see.
Yeah, although in class he's down 3, I believe. So still a bit of work to do, but tracking back in the right direction. So back on board now with our race leader Alexis Vail, still under massive pressure from the Racing Lab Esports Fords behind.
Do you see a Ford taking the lead soon, or do you think they are following and playing strategic?
It makes sense for them to follow and be strategic. I don't think, well, unless you feel like you can overtake and then get away, then you might as well sit and save. And if you can sit tight enough to the car ahead, you seem to not burn up your tires all that much. If you can sit sort of within half a second or so, maybe within 4/10 of the car ahead, you almost like gain a little bit of front end, and you can sit really tight to them. As soon as you break out of that, then the dirty air becomes a bigger issue. But
Sure.
we've not seen Eric Rousset drop any further back than 3/10 from about 2 quarters into this race. So we'll see here now. So looking to the outside this time, is he actually going to go for it?
Could really
Side
do
by
with
side.
teammate help. But he isn't going to get that done, is he? No.
No. I wonder if he's kind of just playing with Vail here.
Oh.
He's throwing him all sorts of moves here, trying to wrangle him out of shape. Lapped car ahead.
That's really going to
is-
bring
I believe
Talman on
Sander-
Mayer, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's Sander Danielson there in the Racing Lab Esport Porsche. So, yeah, really interesting to see how this is going to shake out.
He just needs to get out of the way before, I think, Moss. Oh, and he's blinking.
Oh, he's
oh.
like, oh,
Do not come back on.
no.
He could. He's on that grass somewhere. No, thank God. I was waiting for an explosion.
He's stopped on. He's back to the pits, so he must have had. It's a bit of a technical issue there, but thankfully, I don't think that's impacted anyone else.
Oh, is that a
I mean,
slowdown
has.
from Fairley? I'm confused. He's just started what looked like dropping in position there.
I think he did drop in position, but
Maybe he just had to
I don't
small
think you can get a
recovery.
slowdown around here. I don't
No, I'm trying to think.
unless you like rally cross it over the inside of Moss.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
true.
you're going to get one.
No, very good point.
So I think that's a change of position because Schilling was behind fairly. Schilling is now back inside the top 10 overall. But a lot of work to do based off of where he qualified to sort of get back into the mix. But yes, in general with the front battle, it does kind of look like Alexis Vale is a sitting duck. And the cars behind are saving, but we'll see how the race unfolds. Eric Troche making the move there on Adam Hedgecock. That's not for class position, so...
Yeah, Troche is working his way through. He was up down 10 positions, now only down 9. He's got 5 more AMs in front of him.
Yeah.
AM is being led by Simon Livingston, who that move must have just happened on Hendrik Zilk, because Hendrik was leading last lap in AM.
Was indeed. And Simon actually dropped a message in the chat before the race. Anders having gold rims from the night I see, so Anders must believe that he will be crowned champion this evening. I'm not 100% sure about how the points will shake out, but no, he sat third. He will win it if he finishes third, but it's whether you know, counting drop scores and if he DNFs from here.
Seth could have a look here again, but I think we've seen this story play out. He just doesn't actually have the top end speed or the brakes to get it done into the right hand side, and
I think for that to work he needs more overspeed. Oh, Alexis feels so defensive, and that's going to bring Anders Meyer actually with a lovely little cutback opportunity here. Yes.
No.
Oh,
Team orders, question mark.
We've just been conned, but it doesn't make sense for...
yeah, for both to compromise their own turn ones.
Bearing in mind that it's Lucas Talman behind, and you do not want to give him a sniff.
No. When I say he's aggressive, I don't mean it in a bad way. He's just one of those guys. There's a gap. I'm going to put my car there.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's skilled enough to...
place the car exactly where he needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But that was really cleverly played by the Racing Lab guys. I think they're trying just to work over Alexis Vale and force a mistake out of him so that they can be 1-2 and then they can control the race. It's hard to control it from second and third, but yeah, they're doing a really good job of almost sort of playing with their food, it seems like. They seem to have the ability to sit so tight on the leading Audi there.
Maya is the one who needs a big run. It just needs to give him a push, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. They just can't get that close.
Yeah, it's so difficult if you're third in line to actually get the clean exit here and have enough of a run to work on the two ahead, because just the nature of Moss Corner, it's a long sort of sweeping hairpin, but it's all about timing the corner. And if you're like tight behind 2 other cars and they're trying to do the same thing, you're just never going to get the exit that you're looking for.
Yeah, the Walker boys looking strong. If Sergio Bayo can clear Tim Perry, we will have a Delatraz Racing, Lab Esports, and Walk. The 3 teams. Oh, actually, as well, that put Altitude in 6 and 7. We would have 4 teams inside the top 8 in order. Sorry, we still have only 4 teams in the top 8, but it would put them in order.
What is this, ARL GT3 or F1?
Yeah, exactly. It always looks so neat in F1. Yeah,
it does. Yes, the battle rages on here. David Schilling has worked his way ahead of Michael Huber, and so Andrew Fairley now is going to have a crack. Patience, though, into Moss Corner. It's a long run onto the Andretti Straight.
We've seen these 2 fight before, so yeah, something definitely happened to Fairley, who lost a position or 2, because we've
seen him slow coming out of turn 3.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the vet has just cut back to the lead battle. It's getting dicier with every lap. Big move up the inside.
Yeah, but again,
but then you set the cutback. I think that's the whole idea. To try and get the cutback to make the move stick in turn 1, but not to be. Alexis Vale hangs on for dear life to his race lead. But this is not a sit and fuel save sort of battle that we've got going here.
Correct.
This is a brawl for the race lead inside the first quarter of an hour.
Yep. Nice, looking good. Alexis Ville's defending very strong. He knows Recef's not just going to plant him one, so this is working. And they're just not getting the run they need. This Audi is looking pretty well trimmed for the straight line and fast enough in the corners. That might explain why he was so tentative on that first lap. Maybe he is running a little bit of a trimmed out Audi, which I imagine on cold tyres must be scary.
Yeah, I have to imagine. Danny Neo there in P5 GT5 must be absolutely loving this, because he's able to probably just sit and see a fuel, see his tires, chill out, relax, whilst the leading pair slow themselves down and threaten to run into each other every lap.
Yeah.
See if he goes for the big move up the inside again. It's a little too far back, but again, Alexis Field slightly offline through the left-hander. Does have it galloped up through the right, and again, he holds on to the race lead.
We could argue that even Anders Meyer and Lucas Talman are slightly sitting better than, especially Eric Rousseff, who's been fighting what looks like and going deep and pushing, where I figure that, I mean, Meyer might have the fuel advantage on Rousseff here.
Most likely. The best place to see a fuel is third in line, almost everywhere. Yep. Second, can't quite save as much as the car behind, and third isn't usually compromised enough where they're like messing up how they drive the corners. Oh, is that Tim Perry? No, he's just taking a very, very tight line on corner exit there. They have fallen off the back of the leading quintet. Tim Perry sort of averaging 4 to 5 tenths a lap off the pace of the leading group there, despite their battling. So I suspect that Tim is feeling a little bit of pressure here from a bio behind. And speaking of, side by side now coming up towards the final sector. Actually, just cleanly done. I think Tim's let him go. Maybe he's more comfortable sort of setting behind and trying to work it that way, but a bio sort of hushing along and waiting to get that move done. Abio's fastest lap of the race is almost a quarter of a second quicker than Tim Perry's. So, yeah, strong stuff there from Abio, up into P6 leader now.
With his teammate as well. We saw them work together very well at Monza, but there is a 4-second gap between them this time.
Very true, but Abio's fastest lap of the race is on par with those leading 5. He has the pace. He just needs a little bit of slipstream now to help bridge that gap.
Yes, indeed. Just scanning down the order. Simon Livingston, Andrew Zilk, 2 seconds separating them in AM, and in Pro-Am, obviously we just mentioned Abio and Tim Perry. That's the move we just saw on screen. Looking very strong. And obviously the lead in Pro we've been following profusely, because that battle looked like it was going to boil over, but it looks like Eric's waiting for a new opportunity, let's say. He's tried the ones he had planned and they're not working, so rather than just cook his tires and burn fuel, now he has to come up with something new. Or, I mean, I did appreciate some of his moves he was trying. At one point he was just trying to force Alexi into a mistake, like, I'm just gonna send it left, right and center and see how you control the car. But
yeah, he might though have cooked his tires in doing that. He's dropped back now quite a distance. That's 0.6 of a second. He must have made a mistake and it sort of checked everything up.
Yeah, this could go to the full second. Let's see. Interesting.
Something must have. That's a lot of time to lose in such a short period of time. Maybe he had a wobble and we kind of just missed it.
Oh, we're hearing he mistaken turn 1.
Okay, that would explain it.
Yeah.
And I was just sort of seeing the gap there sort of keep bleeding away. Brian Walker there has just gotten ahead of Andrew Fairley. And by and large, so I suspect that's a mistake there from Fairley. He's sort of dropping down a little bit, sort of back into the clutches of the hard-charging Matteo Carbonari there.
Yeah, Fairley not having the race he would want. I mean, inside the top 18, there's only 2 people down position. David Schilling, which we saw, and then Fairley down 3. Matteo Carbonari up 11. I mean, Sergio Bio, let's not forget, leader of Pro-Am, but up 7 positions. That's not a number that happens accidentally in a class like this.
Exactly, and he has dropped Tim Perry well out of draft range already. That did not take long. Oh, right, we have a kerfuffle.
A kerfuffle, I like that word.
Byler, Zilka, Trosh.
Yeah, Trosh
as well.
Putting his car there, and is he going to go for a double move? He thought about it, but he's just going to settle with getting this done. He does have a Butsu behind him, also a very strong driver, but they were clearing Mario Schlosser there. No.
Correct.
Was it Mario or Hendrick?
Oh, yeah, sorry, it was Hendrick Zilka there, who was leading in Pro, or in AM, sorry, but has sort of fallen away off the pace a little bit. So,
I mean, this is a track where if you get your nerves rumbled a little bit, it can be very difficult to sort of, again, we've mentioned this, it's a committal track. So if that some of that confidence is missing, you start bleeding lap time at this track.
You do. And it's a track where, like, again, if you've got the setup slightly wrong as well, and you're nervy through turn 2, and you're nervy through Moss Corner, and you're nervy in the last sector, well, that's nearly the whole lap.
Yeah, it's a good point. And
if you can't, this is a track where you do need to push. You need to have the car solid. It needs to turn plenty, but you need to trust it every step of the way, otherwise you're in deep trouble. So I wonder if that's the issue there for Tim Perry. His last lap, though, was a little closer to the pace, but he is getting dropped there by Sergio Baio, whose pace, though, is on par until that last lap with the leading 5.
Is that mistake caused a breakaway? I know it's only 1.1, it's early to call, but I mean, Alexi Ville might just change up the strategy here a little bit, just push that a little bit harder. Because if he can break that draft and keep it broken, then it affects Eric Rousseff's fuel-saving numbers as well.
It does indeed. Yep, last time by pulled another 10th on Roussef, so it's ebbed and flowed in a way that I wasn't expecting. But we're 20 minutes into the race. We're like well established in the race. Tires are where they're at, where they're probably going to be for most of the rest of the race. The Ford, how is the Ford on tires? Do you know?
I would tell you, but it's been completely, basically rebuilt from the ground up. The last update they had was like more data from Ford, and apparently the suspension model and quite a lot's changed, so it would need a retest. Yeah, so I'm not sure really, and we haven't had too many sort of big endurances since that. So yeah, my knowledge is lacking. So. Nicola Agard asking, why does your sideman look familiar, David?
Sideman?
Sideman. I never thought Jamie would be classed as my sideman.
Wow, I have been humbled there.
Yes, none other than eSport legend Jamie Fluke.
Why is Nikolai Agard not out on track fighting for Param glory here? Dare I ask?
Was that your fight back comment?
That is my fight back.
Yes.
All right, back.
So the draft is now back within 8/10.
That's just about.
Yeah, obviously
it ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it's not massive in these cars anyway, but as far as keeping with the flow and fuel saving, it's there enough for it to matter.
So we'll see what, like, the next few laps are critical for, I think, every one of these front 5 drivers, and it almost comes down to Alexis versus Eric.
Yeah.
The 3 behind, I think there is a bit of a gap there between Talman and Myra, but still, I would say within range.
That was very nice of traffic, letting them all through there.
Yes. And that is Sander Danielson there getting well out of the way. I think he's 9 laps down, he absolutely should. I
think Anders Meyer is going to, I mean, I don't know about team orders, but I think Anders Meyer is going to jump Roussef and be right on Alexis Ville. Yeah, I honestly do.
We wait and see.
Yeah.
It's the question that we don't know the answer to is how much has Myra been able to save in the early going. I would say right now everyone is pretty much full push.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been the case throughout the entire race. Last lap though, Roussef though almost back to sort of PB pace. 15.685 versus Alexis Ville's 15.875. So solid nearly 2/10 there to bridge the gap ever so slightly once again. So it just ebbs and flows.
David Chillin's comeback is going well, now only down 5 positions and 2 seconds off Tim Perry, who is now hanging onto a bio, as you mentioned. So that's a very good place for him to find himself. It's a good car to follow. Robin West going to take a look here. Nicola Agard saying I didn't make it back from work in time to start the race, and he is apologising.
Interesting. So move up the inside from Vest on Carbonari. That usually gets it done, and yes, it is done. Robin Vest up to P13. I feel like Carbonari needed just to hold the inside white line there and make Robin go the long way around, but he opened the door ever so slightly, and Vest made sure to take advantage. Rhys Saunders into the pits. He got caught up in the lap 1 stuff, so maybe he's just taking the earliest opportunity to come in and get serviced.
It makes sense, yeah. We see his front left completely transform there. So, yeah, that's good advice. Yes, you don't get the fuel advantage running low.
But you're not running with a knackered car.
Correct, yeah.
Chris van den Ese there. He's had a rough couple of rounds, which has knocked him clean out of championship contention.
Especially Hockenheim.
Well.
Yeah, especially Hockenheim, because, yeah, and I think it's just knocked his, not drive or passion, that's not what I mean, but maybe the hours of prep that were going in kind of got knocked when he got knocked out of contention.
Yeah.
Hockenheim was unfortunate. You know, he just got caught up in 2 wrecks in 2 races. No fault of his own. It happens. And yeah, to win a championship, like to compete in a championship, you drive strong. To win a championship, everything needs to go right, really.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because yeah, there's not a lot in this, not a lot of wiggle room in this championship. Bogdan pointing out battle for P2 and P3 in the team standings is on. Yes, I think we saw that on the intro.
Yeah. But slightly out of reach of the Racing Lab guys, who are second and third now as well. So that is sorted. Rubitsu into the pits. Similar sort of strategy, I guess, as with Reece Saunders.
Down 14 position. Oh no, that probably is part. Oh yeah, I think he was down.
But he was down the order.
Yeah.
So, you know, probably with significant damage. So it makes sense to come in, take advantage of that fast repair which we have in the series.
What's happened to Talman? Has there been a battle here with Neo? Because
yeah, he's dropped off the pace.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind as well, Roseth and Myra have caught right back up to Vale. So I suspect it's Talman's kind of just got dropped more than anything else. Myra had set fast lap of the race as well, pushing behind Roseth. Both of those guys have improved and sort of stepped up the pace. So yeah, Talman on this lap, yes, he has dropped 7/10. So that is actually just a mistake somewhere on the lap. And it doesn't take much to lose that kind of time around here.
we're hearing out of turn 2. Yeah.
Just going through. So yeah, if you get it wrong,
Yeah, it affects all the way down to Moss Corner, right? Which
pretty
is
much.
a long run.
So yeah, he was barely hanging on to draft, and then the 2 ahead of steamed right back up to Alexis Vale. So yeah, those boys are looking strong again. It just ebbs and flows this race. We still don't really know where this is all going to shake out. There's still a pit stop to occur as well. So
Eric Trush into the pits.
again, another one of those drivers that had an issue right at the start. Probably just one, repairing the damage, and 2, get himself back into some clean air rather than trying to work his way through traffic, for lack of a better way of putting it.
No, I get that, yeah.
He's probably a good chunk quicker than those guys, but it's difficult to make the moves around here. So if he gets some clean air, he can
Even if he finds himself in the mix at around the sort of P9 in the being lapped situation, he can probably just stick onto one of the back of them and just follow, and that steel race pace-wise will be significantly quicker. A, that he found himself in the AM category, and B, not having to overtake them like you mentioned. So he can play this long
waiting game, pretty much.
Very long. I had this, you mentioned Okayama earlier, I had this exact same situation. Okayama is an hour league race, and same situation. I found myself with damage quite far back, and not major damage though, but I thought, yeah, I'm just going to box and just serve my time running a long time on my own at the back, and I'm pretty sure as long as I don't come across any lappers or traffic, I can claw back. And yeah, it's mad. The gains, even I underestimated how huge of a gain it was.
I do love it as a strategy. I remember way back there was the old Porsche. It was actually the old roof. This is going way back. That GT3 from
I loved that car.
2009, 2010, however far back. There was a fixed series of that. There was 45 minutes that had a pit stop, but there was no fuel limit, even though it was on a fixed set. So the strat was, you know, if you stopped your qualifying and started at the back, hit on lap 1. Fuel what you need to fuel, and then just run in clean air.
Yeah, I loved that car. I really did. I think that was fantastic. Maybe I loved it as much as I love GTs, but that car was an animal. It was almost a Porsche Cup-esque to drive style, but had epic power. Like, it was really quick.
Fastest lap of the race from Eric Roseth. 700 quicker though than Alexis Vale, who set his personal
all 3 of them into the 5s.
into into the 1 minute 15.5s. So that's what we just brought up there is the last lap that these guys have done. Ryan Walker there on a 15.8, really strong stuff from him. But yeah, sort of seeing I feel like that gives you guys a bit of a pattern of where everyone's at in the race right now. That leading 3 now that have broken clear of Lucas Talman in 4th, currently class of the field.
Danny Neo, maybe have a look here. He's very close to... No, he's just pushing. Wow, Danny Neo's looking ready.
Yeah, he's ready to pounce. But I think he knows who he's operating with. Whether Talman will be willing to concede ground for the greater good of the rest of the race, don't know. Because Talman is front foot, and front foot. That's how he operates. But he is slipping off the back of this leading 3, and Neo is tucked right up behind him. Bear in mind what we mentioned earlier. Danny Neo has been sat in P5 the entire time, and when the leading 2 were squabbling, he was probably able to save more than everyone else. So now is his time, I think, to push. We're probably not that far away from the normal pit cycle or the pit window.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I'm trying to think when it is.
It's a 60% fuel, right?
Yeah, 60%.
So that's going to get you 35 to 40 minutes into the race. I'm saying no more than 40 minutes into the race.
That's a bear poke getting out the way.
That is Patrick Wilt.
Danny Neo. No, he's not. He's too far back. Well, unless
he's going to try and hang, but it's so difficult. Like, you need to be watertight to the core panel. But he's
maybe do a switch back here.
Oh,
that's Talman.
There we go. Well,
Danny Neo classed that as non-track overtakes. He passed him before he got into his box.
Very true. Very true. All right, so that's the first of the top contenders into the pits. And just gone beyond halfway. Maybe Talman struggling with his tyres.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because, I mean, he wasn't putting up the biggest fight for a long time, and then I think a mistake out of 2, and yeah, maybe just overheated them. We didn't see the mistake, but he never really recovered from that.
Yeah. But Danny Neo, therefore, has sort of dropped well off the back of the front 3. 7/10 slower in that last lap, just from the pace that Lucas was putting up, and then that little bit of side-by-side action there before Lucas brought it into pit lane. So, is
this as close as Rennsport has been, or no? I suppose Alexis got a bit of draft ahead.
I don't think he's getting anything from there.
Oh yeah, no, good point.
So here we go.
Is he going to send
No, he's left it out of it.
Yeah.
So at this stage of the race, knowing that Talman has pitted, it makes 0 sense for Rosef to make the move now. Well,
as he comes in.
He's made a different kind of move now, straight into the pits. And I like this.
And Anders Meyer will still keep that draft. I mean, I'm liking Meyer's odds here. Honestly, I am. I think he drove the calmest of the 3.
Yes.
Even when he had the opportunity to go alongside his teammate, he just lifted. And I say, Lucas Talman never really fought him, so he's been able to run a controlled race here.
Very interesting to see the lap times as they come through of the drivers that have pitted. So it'll be interesting as well just to double check that Rosef does come out of the pits ahead of Talman. I assume he will.
And he's going to want to come out in, you know, it's a small track. You do not want to find yourself around people. Even if people are nice and letting you by it, you're going to lose time.
100%.
And it is a teeny little track.
Rosef out and away. Well clear, actually. That's a good 4.5 seconds clear of Talman.
And that was
bigger than what that gap was before.
Let's look at the pit differences. So Rosef a 17.7 pit stop, Talman an 18.6. So he was 2 seconds ahead, gained 9 tenths in the pits. So yeah, just maybe a bad outlap in that ratio as well. As our leader pits, and Meyer goes one more. And if Meyer's got some tyres, he'll have low fuel. If he can put in a good lap.
Anders Meyer just set fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, I tell you, I made my call early and I'm sticking with it.
And normally it's my job as the other man in the booth here to disagree with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say sideman. But I'm totally in agreement here. I think Anders Meyer has been able to play this beautifully.
Yeah. Hello to Alan in chat.
Hi, Alan.
Yeah, and Nicholas Agar puts shine a light on a bio and Shin that they have exceptional evolvement. I like that word. I'm not sure is it technically correct, but
Involvement, I think.
I think rate of their improvements has been very impressive. Abayo has been going strength to strength, and Shilin, bad luck this race, but we're seeing here at Monza he has incredible pace, that's for sure.
Veil's come out ahead of Roseth here.
Wow, but tight.
Just about staying ahead.
And that was with a, let's see, their pit stop times.
Stationary, he was in the pits 9/10 of a second longer.
Yeah.
So going that one lap longer, the overcut, I think, is worth it. Oh, he's pushing him through the second part of Moss Corner. But I think this is on Anders Meyer now. Last lap as well, like within 100th of the fastest lap of the race. Meyer's putting down some absolutely mental lap times. And I think it's on him to win it from here. He's just got to put the big laps down before he pits. Tim Perry into the pits from second place in Pro-Am. Sergio Baio obviously out in front. But yeah, we're starting to get into the meat of the pit window here. So all action, all to play for here. This is where the race can be won and lost.
So, I mean, does Rosef play teammate here? He's only got to show his nose, twice in the last sector, and that's his teammate through. Easy through. Because the time loss you're going to see just from that having to go defensive is it's quite significant in that last sector.
Meyer was 4.5 tenths quicker in the last lap than Roseth, and that's his first lap, sort of back up to speed. That was the first flying lap.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting as well to see Alexis Veil this time by.
But that's one point. Not only are they running much higher fuel than Meyer, but if you do have to take 2 tyres, for example, which I imagine they are, cold tyres at this track just isn't it on that first lap. Anders Meyer into the pit, needing to get everything right here.
Danny Neal going one more as well.
Stop the count. Walk are leading. He's had a good race.
It's a very good race for Danny Neal. Qualified 8th, not a good qualifying, I think, given the pace that he's shown so far in the race. But doing a good job. Had probably got the move done on Talman, so we'll see how he shakes out versus Talman. But yeah, Talman's dropped quite a bit off the back of Roseth and Veil here, so
it's a good window. Meyer pits very fast pit stop, the fastest pit stop of the front runners. Yeah, the fastest pit stop. I think he's got this.
He has, yeah,
significantly got this.
And Veil almost running wide in disbelief at the gap. Anders Meyer has cleared them.
Yeah, very well done there.
Not completely, mind you. He probably will take a little bit of time to get up to speed, and that gap will probably come inside 1 second. However, that is a big move there from Anders Meyer to take the net lead of this race.
Yeah, was that a Lapa or was that Neo? No, it's not Neo, right? It's
probably UDOD.
Yes.
It is UDOD, yes. I had to just double check there. David Schilling fast lap the race on a 15.3, so what could have been for him?
Yeah, caught up in all that at the beginning.
At the start. Here's Roseth now on Veil. If these two start squabbling, it's probably race done. Veil's able just about to hang on, but this is all splintered and stretched out. Danny Neal into the pits from the race lead. He'll probably shake out in and around Talman, but we'll see exactly where he ends up. It's looking like the overcut has been the strategy here.
Yep, indeed.
So Meyer's getting held up, I think, by Udot. He's looking for him to get out of the way, and he is obliged to.
Yeah, you mean Udot has pitted, right? This is a blue flag condition. Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Udot's given tons of space, but where's he going to feed back into? Oh, he's got to stay out of the way.
Yeah, it's going to cost him a lot of time.
But it's so difficult. It's so tricky.
Oi! Oh, any touch there on the rear fender and
I think he could have let that go a little easier.
Yeah, 100%.
And Roseth as well has got the same thing to deal with. Yeah. I think Udot has to give that up a little earlier. And yeah, he's wide through there, but it still compromises Eric Roseth's run.
And relative placement on track, right? If you look where he is on track now to where he was relative to his pace, if he'd have just lifted on the straight and let all of them by, he would be further afield.
Correct.
I'm not crazy, right?
You're not crazy.
So he costs other people time, but ultimately himself more time.
But also what he's done is he's brought Danny Neal slightly back into it.
Yeah,
so
that's
the
not gone.
conspiracy That is, I can assure you, Vale and Rosette are definitely going to protest that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he did technically get out of the way, costing someone time while you do it. I mean, it's a border. You know what I mean?
It didn't look intentional.
Correct.
It looked clunky more than
Correct,
anything.
yeah.
But look at the gap between Neo and Talman. That's 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, Talman was the biggest loser through the pit stop phase.
Huge loser out of the pit stop phase, yes.
Perhaps it was outlap things. I mean, his pit stop was a second, 1.1 off, but that doesn't explain the extra couple of seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming...
Maybe it's traffic that we didn't see, maybe a couple of mistakes.
Yep, tiny track, very difficult.
And bearing in mind that Neil went the longest of everyone and was then sat on lower fuel and nice, warm, hot tyres, so...
So shilling up overall another position on this epic comeback. From here on in, it gets very difficult.
He's got a bio, though, and he has caught right up to him, so this should be interesting, at least, for Shilling. And a bio really doesn't need to fight it, bearing in mind that he's got a bit of a gap over Tim Perry, who has managed to sort of stem the tide slightly. That gap between first and second in Pro-Am is about 3 and a bit seconds, so...
I mean, Shilling did qualify third. I mean... He needs to race officials, right? 3.6k.
I know.
I don't think I'd want to race him right now. He's looking very on form.
And he has fastest lap of the race by a little margin as well here, as against drivers who are 6 and 7,
8k, yeah.
So, yeah, he does need to run a few more officials, but
and you could call this
haven't quite gone to plan for him throughout the season, really.
And you could call this a driver's track, right? I think the driver gets more than the car out of a track like this.
Typically, yeah. And he's driving the Ford, which we know isn't the strongest car out there.
Nope. He's finding a good balance. Yeah, they've been working hard on the setup, but it looks for ADX. Fairly having a look. Oh, this has been a battle. That's been on the cards quite a few times. Fairley and Hooper. But Fairley's back past, but we've seen those. Yeah.
Oh, Hooper's not happy.
No, there was a bit of a.
Bit of a nudge, bit of a.
Yeah, a nudge. Let's call it.
Bit of a shoulder barge, a hip check.
Hip check, yeah. Officials are overrated, Alan's saying.
But they give you the big number.
Yeah, I don't know.
Special number that everyone talks about and everyone needs to have a big one of.
Correct.
It's all about your I rating.
Yeah.
It's the measure of everything in the universe.
Correct.
How much I rating do you have? But yes, they are slightly overrated. I will concede that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, if I wasn't a full-time streamer, I'm not sure I'd wake up and grind officials all day, every day.
I mean, this league is far superior to all officials.
Correct, yes.
And speaking of this league and this series, we have ARL prototypes coming up again very, very soon.
Next Thursday, yes.
Next Thursday.
We'll be broadcasting here from the Apex Racing TV esports studios. Myself and Sam, I think, will be in the hot seat for round 1.
I hope so, otherwise I'm getting drafted in last minute again.
Correct. Oh, a nice look here. It's going to get tight. It's going to get very tight. They're not giving...
No. That's not good.
No, and that's not how you door-to-door race anyway. Like, it was a tight swinging high-speed corner, and they're both just... It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but it's just... Look, if you understand GT3s and iRacing...
It takes some give and take, right?
Correct, yeah.
And there was take and not give.
Yep. Because you can blame netcode and glue, and you can use these words all you want. Or you can know they're there
and just take
and drive around them.
Yeah.
Like the NDM spin.
Yes.
So easy fix. Don't hit people gently. If you're going to hit them, rev.
Yeah.
Hit them hard, and no longer you have the problem solved.
Yeah.
And explain to the stewards, no, I just didn't want a NDM spin, so I...
Don't just tap them, whack them.
Correct. T1 into Lagos. Don't brush them. No.
Yeah.
If it's going to happen, throw.
This is going to get a cease and desist from Terry's Chocolate Orange, isn't it?
I fancy one now. No, chocolate orange.
Yeah. Sorry, we've gone off track here. It's not an endurance race. We're almost into the last 15 minutes of this.
Correct.
Hutchinson has got ahead of Tim Perry, and this is why. I'm pretty sure that is...
Yeah.
I hope that's not contact on corner exit. I really hope it's not. We're going to get a replay, I'm sure, pretty soon on that one.
He's looking out of sorts, that's for sure.
It's such a strong start from a decent qualifying position, so he's maybe just a little higher up the grid and higher up the field, sorry, than maybe his pace would have suggested, and he's sort of been trying to hang on for dear life with that. So hopefully we'll get clarification on what happened there very, very soon. But back to the...
I was just going to recap the class leaders at the moment. Anders Meyer leading in pro, up 5 positions. Let's not forget that. He's run a very incredible race, out fuel save, out pit stop, out consistently, all the way to the lead. Leading in pro. In Pro-Am, Sergio Abayo, walk race for esports. Again, yes, it is Sergio Abayo, yeah. Very solid race, up 7 positions, very strong driver, looking very strong for the run to the finish there. And leading in Simon Livingston, who has completely dropped Silk, I'm just noticing. Whoa.
I think that's you, Dodge, getting out of the way again, but...
He got really out of the way for that colour car.
Yeah, absolutely. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, Simon Livingston leading in but a huge gap to his nearest competitor, Hendrik Zilk, who, wasn't through pit stop, I'm not sure.
I think Livingston's just been the class of the field.
Yeah, up 6 positions.
Just super solid stuff. All of the other ARMs have got themselves into a little bit of trouble, or maybe just haven't quite had the same pace. Livingston has had a clean race. He's taken advantage of mistakes from others, and he's currently leading comfortably in ARM.
Yep, so Chris van der Nesse, who we're on screen now, is making his way back through. His comeback charge, it's been more difficult because of not just the damage, but the early pit and the massive time loss. He had a huge time loss. He was facing the wrong way out of 2. Yeah, so it's applaudable what he's achieving here. Okay, some more replays coming in.
Do you have replays?
Oh, so it's just too tight. It's not on, and the defense was really tight. I mean, this was always going to happen.
Yeah, the line in was tight, and then, it's just a little bit.
And this is...
on his... Dropped it sort of on the way. So that is so easy to do, and that's what's given Hutchinson the position. So, just up over the crest, a little too much brake, maybe a little bit of a brush with the curb.
Plus, we call that an Audi spin, right? What we used to.
Yeah, it's still in place, so...
just less prevalent.
Less prevalent, but it still happened here. It's so easy for it to happen. And at a track like this, where the Audi is almost always going to burn its rears more than the front, Moss corner gets harder and harder as you go through the race. So if Tim didn't take left side tires, for example, he's probably really struggling at this point. So disappointing for him, but he's still out and away, 3rd in class still, but he has Ryan Walker and Andrew Fairley not too far behind.
Back when I was like 2-3K and the Audi was meta, and it wasn't the meta just to run max wing everywhere. Oh, the Audi, I just didn't understand how you go 40 minutes without inducing an Audi spin. That was my biggest gripe. Like, I just avoided the car in the end. I knew it was the fastest, and I could get by in it, but could I do 40 minutes of lapping without one spin? No, back then I couldn't. But obviously things have changed. Like, one day everything just became, practically all tracks became max wing. Most tracks.
Yeah. Sort of makes it a little bit easier to handle.
Correct, yeah. Alan saying, you mean last week?
Very good, very good.
Sometimes I feel like a 2-3K, when you do something absolutely dumb. Ryan Walker, just following right now.
He has got now onto the back of Tim Perry.
It's a teammate, right? Just different cars. This is the Altitude Esports Blue and the Altitude Esports Silver in front, so...
Be interesting to see if they have because it's the last round of the season and neither of them are, like...
Depends what points are on the fight for them.
Yeah. But I don't think either of them have anything major to play for here. So they might just have a bit of a ding-dong. We'll see how that unfolds. Just to sort of elaborate actually up front, so Alexis Field had got back onto the back of Anders Meyer and has then dropped back off again, as has Eric Roseth. So it's looking really good for Anders Meyer. Veal had put up a strong fight for a good sort of 10 minutes or so there. Good 8 laps. But Roseth had dropped off completely from the back of Veal. But now it's gone the other way. So, yeah, it's looking really strong for our champion-elect here.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So you say about conspiracy theories. I'm thinking, because we saw the Maya jump happening. We saw it playing out. Was Roseth just fighting Alexi Veal just to make sure he couldn't fuel save? Because if someone's always showing your nose, you can't just lift off the throttle. And it keeps that throttling like that 2% later, 2% later, every lap. Was he sacrificing his race a little bit to sacrifice Alexi's? And then Maya was just hyper saving, it appears, went that lap longer. Laid down the tyre. He had the tyres at the end because of no fighting. Or am I just...
I mean, that's what it looked like from the outside.
Correct.
If so, it's a fantastic bit of teamwork because there's nothing wrong. Oh, that is an issue for...
Michael Hooper.
No, it's Patrick.
Oh.
He's had a really, really tough day.
Yeah. Well, the Porsche... It's not its track. I mean, it is, but it is a very technical car around this track where you've such a commit. I just find the Porsche in its window is one of the best cars. Outside of window, it's probably the worst car. Yeah. If you get that rear kicking round, it's not like an Audi spin where you can feel it happening. The Porsche just
when it goes, you're done.
Yeah, you're actually done. Yeah.
But actually, to your point, when it works, it works. Briefly there, Chris van der Nesse had the fastest lap of the race. That's down in P17 by Anders Meyer, stretching his legs up front at 1 minute 15.291. We're getting pretty close to qualifying lap times now at this stage of the race. Fuel's almost all come out. Tires are probably nice and stable at this point. Everything's sort of working out quite nicely. Track time's probably coming down. Oh, I suspect there was a bit of air between the two cars there, but that's Carbonari round almost by the hand there of Simon Andre Livingstone. We'll have to get a replay of that just to confirm.
Yeah.
But...
all around the outside?
Oh, around the outside there from
Reece Sindles, yeah.
Oh, there's still door back. Down into turn 1 we go. Urbitsu holding the optimal inside line. It's so hard to go around the outside of turn 1. And Saunders does eventually back out of it, but that came to blows down the pit straight there. Yeah. And eventually one of them had to back out, and it was Saunders. So Urbitsu hangs on to what I would assume for him is a disappointing P17.
Yes, indeed. Keep in mind David Schilling, who's actually made ground now. He's 3/10 off Sergio Arbayo. This has been an epic comeback. Obviously, what could have been. I think he could have. I think he would be ahead of Danny Nero and fill in that gap, or maybe Danny Nero following him. I think it would have been a tight battle, but let's see.
Chris van der Nesse there on Simon Andre Livingstone.
Yeah, this is pro recovering and an AM leader. I don't think the AM leader is going to do anything stupid. A nice win here would be lovely in class.
Yeah, it'd be nice just to cap out the season.
Yeah,
for him, and he doesn't fight it too hard. Easy, straightforward move there for van der Nesse.
Well, his nearest competitor is quite far back. Okay, some replays. Oh,
maybe there was a bit of contact there.
Very hard to judge. It was very tight. Let's see.
This will be the angle. Yeah, just a little nudge, and at that speed, the smallest touch. You could actually see, and I almost quite like this from Carbonari, smash the headlights as well mid-spin. That is wonderful.
Well,
that's so good.
Yeah, well, it's not advice. No. Yeah, you're not helping yourself.
I can see the Italian hand gesture from here.
That's what blows my mind on all these social media where you get to see car cams from an accident. Is you're honking when you should definitely be doing a procedure to save your life.
A productive procedure.
Yeah, but you're holding the horn.
Yes.
We can see you.
Yes.
And hear it. Yeah.
Bit of lap traffic to negotiate for second versus third here.
Yeah, we saw Rosef actually go for a move there again into the long right sweep after the straight. But Alexi's well versed in defending that. This could be the closest Rosef's been. No, I mean, it's all about how you hook up this corner anyway, not how close you could be on the entry.
Yeah, and now is the time to go. We're coming up to sort of 6 minutes to go in the race here. If you've got an opportunity, you've kind of got to go.
This is close. 2.5 tenths and drop in fast. 2/10. But again, it's just a last-minute outside late break. It's not an easy move to pull on.
Yeah.
Just because the Audi seems, their trim levels just seems to be enough to, yeah. What are you going to do?
I feel like at this point, if Eric Roseth could get dead alongside, he would have by now, but he hasn't been able to do so this entire race.
Yeah, they're not trimmed for the level to pass. That all we could see. I mean, that Audi is proper quick in a straight line. No, he thinks less of it. Okay, less than 5 minutes to go. Obviously, at a track like this, we do get a couple of laps, which is nice.
Great shot here, looking back towards the prowling Mustang.
By the way, this fight has given Meyer a 3.3 second lead.
Yeah, last lap he was 8/10 quicker nearly. So down into Moss corner. Honestly, if I was Rosette, I would be thinking almost about the dive into Moss.
Really? Oh, Tim
issue.
Perry.
Oh,
Careful.
his days just slowly faded away.
Yeah, I mean, this is close. This is very close.
This is closer than it has been, so
Yeah.
I think he's almost about to get dead alongside. And he is.
Oh, a little bit of a door bang, but I think this is it. No, he's lying there. I mean, I'm not ever one to comment.
Oh, that's a huge defense there from Alexis Vale.
Yeah, I mean, it was his to defend, right?
Yeah,
He was
exactly
completely
was.
clear.
It looks like Roseth just doesn't trust sticking right to the outside.
Correct, yeah, because
He's
if you
given him so much margin that he's never going to get it done around the outside from there.
agreed, his line he uses there is it's too far to travel. That even that overspeed is nowhere near enough.
What he needs to do is try and just trap Vale almost on the inside curve.
Correct, yeah.
And just stick him to it so that, you know, providing that he has a small margin ahead, that he can almost dictate the confrontation, dictate the battle. But he's giving so much leeway that all Vale has to do is just make the corner.
I'm seeing that. I don't think Vale's got. I don't think he's on the fuel number he needs, because I mean, unless Racef's found something, like he is absolutely all over him every corner here at the moment.
Yeah, he is. But Vale's also like, I think he's conscious like he needs to defend nearly everywhere. He feels like he's under pressure the whole way here. I did think though I heard a small lift, but this time around, he's thinking about it.
It's just too far back to do that.
A little too far back, but I like the idea. Oh, that's a huge send.
I tell you, Vale saw that and
did see it,
opened up.
But he's done the right thing there. He managed to
Park
hold it. He managed to park it, hold that apex of the last corner. It's so easy to just seal deep there, and then you're exposed into turn one. But Vale, as he's done this entire race, to be fair, he is hanging on, but hanging on well here.
Yeah, he's done it. Done a very good job. Racef seems quite calm. I think he has this underlying fin. I'm going to get it done. I just got to focus up and make it happen and sort of reset, right? It's easy to just follow and fall into a rhythm of trying the same thing. Ooh.
Schilling's got ahead of a bio here.
Yeah, what a battle as well. Two very strong drivers, but Schilling...
That must have been in turn one. So maybe that's something where, you know, if Schilling could tell Rosette how to do it, get the move finished into turn one, just shout up the road as a fellow Ford driver. This is how you work in my position.
Yeah. So this move was on the card. Schilling on quite the comeback here now. He's only down 3 positions, and he was well down at one point.
Oh, right. Right, so he's changing tactic. He's trying to bait Vale to the inside and then have him come across the cover so he can open up the inside line. But I don't think that's going to work.
This battle's not over?
Laps. Yeah. So this is what... Yes. Oh, no, the contact. Oh, no. And Schilling's in the wall. Oh, no, that's a blown engine as well. No.
And now Racef's commenting to us like, yeah, and that's why I don't do that.
Yeah.
But it looked like a small contact that...
It's a tricky one. We need to see it again, and maybe in a slow motion as well. But a bio, you could visibly see it was so much tighter and tried to pin Schilling there to the inside. But contact was there, and that can happen. It is Tin Top GT3 racing after all. But we will come back to the battle for second here. Alexis Vale desperately hanging on from Eric Roseth. But Roseth has, outside of that dive into the penultimate corner, has played it really safe, I think.
So this is final lap. Oh, no, one more lap after this, sorry.
Will
Very
be.
short track.
It's a tight one.
It is. What can Rennsport cook up?
He's looking at it again. He's just trying to force a mistake at this point out of Vale, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No. No, unless there's a fuel.
One more lap. So Anders Meyer has got to the flag just about in time.
Yeah.
So one more lap for the ARL GT3 trophy season 10.
Well said. And what a battle to take it to the close.
Danny Neo's almost got onto the back of this as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, these guys...
Like, if these guys tangle, it's all there for Neo to take. Surely the move has to be into Moss if he's got a run, but I don't think he does. So he has to set it up back onto the Andretti straight.
Yep.
Down into Moss we come.
Well, he's got
he's
field
got
off line,
defensive.
so that's helpful for his line if he can just hook this up. He needs to be
has hooked it
sub
up. Yes.
2-5. This is close.
Yeah, this is a lot closer.
2-2. Yeah, sub 2 already. He's got to pin him. He's got to move to the left and keep Alexeyville quite far to the right.
Anders Meyer is going to win this race, but we've got to stay with this battle for a second. He's getting tight.
See, I know Alexey does push him out, which is smart. So maybe that's one thing we're underestimating is how... Yeah.
Up the inside, no, he's covered it off, and all he has to do is cover the final corner. But Anders Meyer to take the checkered flag and the championship, the pro championship for season 10 here in ARL GT3 trophy. Alexeyville wonderfully hangs on for second.
Yeah, what a battle.
Super battle with Eric Rennsport. Danny Neo there in fourth. And
Sergio Abayo, yeah. Pro-Am winner.
Pro-Am winner. Super drive for the walk racing esports driver. That's another win in class for him. Finishing the season really, really strong. And Simon Andre Livingston has just kept it neat and tidy. No
Very
fuss,
solid.
no drama, especially with the pros coming back through. Just took it all in his stride.
Yeah, he did. It was a nice battle there, but he's really shown his class at a track like this. And another strong finish. Some strong guys.
Yeah.
Very strong season.
Super drive. So P16 overall, but a win in class for Simon Andre Livingston. Or Racing Lab Esports.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that. Obviously, it's hard to judge the AM, but the easy way to judge the AM's finish there is up 5 positions, net result in the end. So,
yeah,
solid at a track like this. Chris Van Den Esse, P14 in the end, still 10 positions down from where he started, but a good recovery. I keep saying it good, but he had a recovery drive just to even make his first gain. So it's it just takes the wind out of your sail for a comeback like that.
It does, but it's sort of disappointing for him. He needed everything to go his way today to have any shot at the championship, and all over, as we can see there, in turn 2 on lap 1. And that was it, pretty much championship over at that point.
Yeah, 100%. Just wait till the results come in. Shouldn't be too much longer, but yeah, fantastic finish. I think Anders Meyer, we don't know if that was played by Rennsport attacking Ville, but I think we both thought Meyer was looking like the guy who was going to nail that, and he did that brilliantly. Lucas Talman didn't look like he had his usual pace there.
He almost fell back into the clutches of our Pro-Am winner, Sergio Abayo, but yeah, here is our results.
Final results. So Anders Meyer with the overall win there and the pro win. Brilliant stuff. Alexeyville P2, Eric Rennsport P3, Danny Neo P4, and Talman P5. In the Pro-Am, Sergio Abayo, Mark Hutchinson, and Andrew Fairley taking the 1, 2, 3. And in AM, Simon Livingston. I think this was a good result. Very good result from him. Shouldn't be underestimated. And a big gap to Hendry Zilk and Russ Fowler there.
Russ Fowler with a good recovery after the incident at the start, and he had to sort of work his way back through after
what could have been. But then again, I mean, there was only the one big incident, right? It was, 2 into 2. 2 incidents into 2.
And then 1 into 3 as well.
Yeah. Correct, yeah.
And the rest of it was pretty good. A couple of little squabbles here and there, but nothing dramatic, nothing.
It was the long right sweeper, right? We saw the very similar problems where 2 cars came together, which was fine on the straight, but as they enter the corner, it's just luck of the draw. If you get spun right or you get spun left. It seemed to be the poor guy on the inside getting spun towards the apex, and then where are you going to go? Let's see if we have anyone available for interviews. We do. Let's bring in Udod's our, let me just bring up the results, sorry. Artem Udod, our AM winner, is that? It is.
That's pretty much confirmed. It would have taken a minor miracle. We've actually got Anders Meyer there as pro champion. I feel like
he's in.
He's it, yeah, so I feel like we should probably bring him in first.
Okay, okay. Brilliant. Anders, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hello, mate. First of all, congratulations on what do I congratulate you on? Brilliant season and the champion and the race win. Talk me through it, because obviously up 5 positions, qualifying didn't go your way.
No, that seems to be my biggest struggle with the Ford still. I haven't really been able to get the qualifyings right. So that's something I'll have to look into. But race pace has been good. And I saw that Eric was struggling, even though he had the pace. It was so hard to overtake because you have these small bankings on the apex in every corner. So if you're on the outside, you're kind of, you don't really stand a chance really. So I knew that the pits was the place to overtake, so I just had to stay behind and fuel save and under fuel a little bit, and fuel save on the final stint.
I think when you watch back the VOD, because you're going to afterwards, you'll find me and Jamie had you for the win, to be honest. We saw Recef's and Alex Seville's pace, but they were fighting quite a lot, and you just looked proper chill, and we could see your pace in the car and how close you could follow. And yeah, we had you for the win outside the pit stop fades. Yeah, and you proved us right, so thank you for that. So that looks good for us. So you survived. Was the first incident behind you? I'm trying to picture it.
I think it was ahead of behind it. So the incident turned through lap 1. Talk us through it.
I thought I didn't really think anything at the moment. I just thought that okay, this was gonna be a short race, but luckily I was on the correct side of the track. But it was sad because even though the championship was as it would still be nice to have one final battle with Chris, because the battles with him has been so. We haven't really had that many on track, but the ones we had has been so clean, hard but clean. So that was a shame, to be honest, but these things happen. He has been really unlucky in the last races, but it was kind of scary.
Yeah, for sure. A very strong season. What's your highlight, takeaway, or personal favorite performance? Talk me through how you found it.
I don't know. Maybe the first race at Watkins, because the first it's really the last races that after when season 4 came, that the car has gotten a little bit better, because at the first half it wasn't really that pleasant to drive, but winning with quite a margin at Watkins was fun, and I knew that the car was maybe not where it should be. So I think Watkins has to be one of the highlights, and the battles with Chris, Lucas I've had some battles with. Overall, been a great season. Luckily for us, we had only one round with proper rain. So if it would have been more, it would have maybe looked a bit different. But great season overall. Congratulations. Very solid driving, very consistent. Qualifying maybe work on, but I think your race pace and fuel usage makes up for it. So again, congratulations, and we hope to see you back for future seasons. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to? I want to give a shout out to, first of all, to Apex this time for hosting another great league, great broadcasts by you guys, and thanks to Simicube, Ford Norway, CarX.no, Racing Lab Esports, and RacingLab.no, and big thanks to Eric for the work he has done with setup and everything around, and bringing the team championship as well home.
Yeah, so congratulations on that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, great stuff, Anders, and I hope to talk with you soon. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Anders Meyer there. Pleasant guy, very quick.
Very quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would want to face him down. That's the problem. A guy like him over a full season, it's...
Especially when he's got the support from teammate as well.
Yeah.
And that's something really important to mention. Like, those guys dominated the team's championship, really. A strong duo, and they were equally key, I think, to both the drivers and team championship there.
100%
played a massive role. But someone who also played a massive role this season is Sergio Abayo with both race win and then the Pro-Am Championship as well. Sergio, congratulations, if you can hear me as well, of course. Super drive again. A great season overall for you, especially towards the back half of the season where you pulled up some huge results. But in terms of this evening and this race, qualifying maybe not exactly where you wanted it to be, but it all sort of unfolded quite nicely for you at the start, and you're able to really show your pace from there.
Hello, yeah, thanks for the championship and all. Well, the quali, I think it was good. I don't have the grip I want or the grip I have on the when we were training with the team and the coach. But on the 5 lap, I think on the 4 or 5 lap, I could make it the lap and put the time. Then the Audi take me the pole, but yeah, it not was the better place to be, but it was good. We saved the accident on T2 in the start, making the inside move, and I could be finished my race there, but we could save it. So nice.
Very nice indeed. So it has been a little bit of an up and down season for you guys as a team, for yourself, for Danny, and for Artem, but strong results for you guys individually in the Drivers' Championship. Artem obviously winning in AM as well. What's it been like sort of working with Danny in particular, who is a strong pro driver, sort of 7K iRating? What's it been like to sort of work with someone of that kind of standard, and how's that been able to help you win this Pro-Am Championship for you this season?
Yeah, Neo was a very, very important teammate for me, the championship. We are friends here in Spain, and in the championship and in the team, all of us are like a big family, and having like Artyom too, having both on the help to help me on every race. If I don't make a good quali, they help me, and Neo training helped me a lot because he's very, very fast, and I go on the draft always with him to make to see how he makes all the turns, and I improve a lot being in his draft. So it was very, very important, the help of all. But yeah, having a faster teammate is always good to improve.
Amazing. Congratulations once again for this season. Is there anyone else that you'd like to thank and give a shout out to?
Yeah, congrats Apex 2 to make this happen. And yeah, honestly, but our coach, amazing, David Bogda, amazing driver, amazing coach, a lot of hours improving the setup and make this possible, make the Mercedes on the pace. It was Giga. So all the team, all the sponsors, and David in especially.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Sergio. Hopefully we'll see you back in a future season. But for now, congratulations on the Pro-Am Championship.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.
All right. Artem Udod time, our AM champion. It's nice they're all in a voice available. Let's bring him in.
Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, though, we probably should have brought him in alongside.
Correct. Yeah, I thought that as well.
Since their teammates, I thought about that halfway through, but yeah, I'll let you take this one.
Artem, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, mate. Congratulations on the AM championship. You must be really pleased. It was a very tight championship. I think we remarked a few times this was one of the closest battles. How did you find it the season long?
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was very intense, and I honestly, when I joined this league, I wouldn't even expect to be somewhere near the podium, let alone the top spot. And some results, some races were absolutely unexpected, had unexpected endings, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out.
And how was Mosport for you? Not your strongest of races. Talk me through it. How did you find this
By
track?
far.
How did the race go?
I had almost no practice on it, and honestly, it went wrong like at the very first lap at the second corner. I saw a crash in front of me, and I had to move to the inside, and there was a huge bump on the inside of
yeah,
the track, and I just
saw.
took off on it and got wheel damage, and then collided with another victim of this crash.
Yeah, we actually saw a few cars pulling wheelies there. I'm not sure if that's new. I saw on the replay.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of you guys
Popping
all sort of
wheelies.
popped up in the air and sort of in the same way.
Yeah. How did you
I
find
never
the
knew I
Mercedes
thought
over the
that.
season?
Sorry, say it again, please.
How did you find the Mercedes over the season?
Oh, pretty well. I'm impressed with how nice it felt. Like, I don't have much to compare it to. That
How
was
long have you
the
been
only
on-
car for me, like, at the start of the season, but yeah.
How long
so
have
far,
you been
so
on iRacing for?
good. I joined it in March.
Okay, very new into the,
Wow.
into the sim then.
Yeah. Yeah, some of us have had quite a few marches, I'd say.
Yeah, I think I'm on 10 marches.
10
now at this
marches.
point. Yeah,
I
super
had
stuff.
1 year of ACC before, but yeah, that's pretty much all my experience in sim racing.
I was looking promising. 2.2k iRating, yeah, so looking very promising. You must be really pleased. What was it like working with such strong teammates? Because you've been a fantastic team, great livery. Talk me through the team process, because not only are you new to the sim, but to find yourself in a team and working together, how's the process been for you?
It was wonderful from the very beginning. Like, I applied for the team for Mr. C, the owner. Great man, long live. He gave me a warm welcome, and like from the get-go, I received everything I needed, like setups, tips, tricks, whatever. And Sergio and Danny, both absolutely great guys. I should thank them as well for a lot of strategy calls and whatever else you can imagine they did.
Oh, that's
So
great.
that's it.
Yeah, no, again, congratulations. Yeah, so you are a new driver to the sim and you find yourself winning the AM Championship. We hope to see you back in Pro-Am next season, question mark?
I guess
think-
so, yeah.
Yeah, I think Sam will promote you. I think he usually does that. Regardless of iRating, if you win a class, he bumps you.
Yeah. So, yeah, you've Pro-Am to look forward to for the next time that we run ARL GT3.
Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Of course, it's first of all Walk Racing. Thank you very much once again. And of course our coach, David Bosga.
Yep.
Awesome tips, and yeah, wish him all the best.
Excellent. Again, congratulations. And yeah,
Thank you very
hopefully
much.
we get to speak
Thank
to you in the future for your Pro-Am win.
I hope so as well.
Cheers. Congratulations.
Bye. Thank you.
Congratulations, Artem.
What a guy. Man, March. I didn't win anything at the beginning of my iRacing career.
March is not that long ago.
No.
Not that long ago. Do we have time for one more? Yeah, we'll quickly bring in Simon Andre Livingstone
Yeah, pleasure.
for the final interview of the season. The winner in AM today. So it's the first person that we're chatting to who has won the race, but didn't then win the championship as well. So it has been an up and down season for you, Simon Andre. But we'll start with today. Talk us through it. It looked like you just sort of kept your nose clean, stayed out of trouble, and took advantage of the mistakes of others.
Yeah, the start of the race was crazy.
Yeah.
I saw like there was a crash in turn 2 or 3. I don't know. It's an American track, so every little kink is a turn, isn't it? Or Canadian, actually. Yeah.
It's Canadian, so it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I found myself like in the back of the field and was like, yeah, just try to drive your pace and see what happens. And then I just did some overtakes and suddenly found myself in P1 and was battling with cars in front and in back and gaining. And it was, yeah, for me, I think this is probably on race pace one of my best races of the year. So I'm satisfied with that race.
Yeah, I can tell, and based off of how it looked like you were managing things as well, so we had pro drivers coming back through. Did you find any particular challenges with those guys who naturally are going to be a little bit quicker, sort of fighting their way past you, or was it all pretty calm and straightforward once you got into sort of the meat of the race, shall we say?
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep my calm and just push my laps, and when I see they come and I see they make the move, I'm kind of like thinking of the whole race and just saying to myself, like, I'm gonna lose pace if I'm just gonna try to keep this guy behind me. So as soon as he makes his move and I see that it's just stupid to defend, I will just let him go and just try to do my own race, because like a lot of the pro guys, like you say, they're almost doing half a second faster laps on average. So for me, it was just like doing my race and racing the guys I felt I could race, and getting the best result for me personally was my strategy under the race.
Yeah, and it looks like you played that absolutely spot on. We'll need to double check how the points shake out in terms of the battle for second. I think you might come up short unless there's penalties applied, but talk us through, or just sort of summarize your season for us. Obviously it's great to pick up the win here, but it's probably been a little bit of an up and down season. I think we can both agree. So so what's your sort of thoughts on how it's went for you this season?
Yeah, what's challenging is my first series with Ford. I normally like to drive the Ferrari, so it's just to change from mid-engine to front-engine. Struggle with pace in the beginning, kind of like after the build find some pace, but my championship kind of like you said, been up and down, and it got kind of like impossible to win it with personal things coming in the way. I had to miss 2 races, and then there were no way of fighting back, but I had a hope that maybe I could get in the top 3, but by my calculation, I think I missed up P3 with 7 points. I think I only gained 10 points on the guy that was P3, so that's a shame.
That is
but
true, but obviously with it being the last round of the season, in case there are any penalties that do need applied, there will be a points penalty at the end of the season. So not that we've seen anything and know for sure that anything like that would happen, but obviously it was really hectic at the start, and maybe Hendrik or Russ will accumulate something. So we'll leave that up to the stewards at the end.
Yep.
And obviously then during the week we'll be able to give a clear outcome. But for now, that's season done, and you finished on a high. It has been a challenging season. So yeah, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to just to close out the season for us?
yeah, I need to do a shout out to especially Eric and Anders, who are like mentoring me through the season and showing me pace in the Ford. And if I didn't have those as teammates, I don't think I would have ever found out how to drive the Ford. So big shout out to those guys, and to our team Racing Lab, and to our sponsors CarX and Azatec, and a big shout out to you, Jamie, for stepping in for Sam, and to my biggest idol, Sam Soid. So thank you guys.
That's very kind words. Thank you very much, Simon Andre.
Cheers. Thank you, mate. Great season.
Yeah, fantastic to see you round out the season as you've done, and hopefully we'll see you back for another season of this very, very soon.
Yes, thank you.
Cheers, mate. Talk soon.
Cheers. Take
Look
care.
to it.
I'll take that. That's a win. I feel like I won.
Yeah,
I feel like a winner now. After
yeah.
that.
You feel like you've won. I got some credit for stepping in, and he hasn't watched it back yet to see if I've done a half decent job or not. But
Yep.
we'll leave that up to him to decide.
Right, so yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I should mention Apex Racing Academy. I should have mentioned it earlier. Make sure you check out their setups, telemetry, guides, tips, tricks, and I mean, you do the setups for...
Yeah, it should be worth noting that we have a free data pack for the Mercedes AMG GT4, which is put together by yours truly. A lot of content around that. We put a lot of time and effort into that to make sure that that's tip-top and ready to rumble. So with that, there's group coaching sessions on a Tuesday, and I'll stream races in and around that as well. So it's a nice, fun GT4 day. You can ask all the questions in our Discord as well. So link to that found once you sign up in or at apexracingac.com there. And what else have we got?
Well, last 2 plugs. Obviously, the VRS Summer Sale is still running, so make sure you head there before the deals close out. It's a big saving. I've been
30% off.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a good bit.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
chunk.
haven't seen that in over the years I've been sim racing. And obviously, so to stick around in about 20 odd minutes, depending on how quickly we can go to the toilet and grab a drink.
Yep.
We'll be back here on the channel for the late Apex, talking all sim racing news. So again, thank you to Jamie for joining me. And yes, we will be back next. Well, there's other broadcasts, but the one I will be doing will be next Thursday. It'll be the Prototype Challenge. So again, thank you ever so much, guys. And yeah, great season. Cheers.
Cheers.